Welcome to how I analyze an off-market property when it comes to me. I did some direct mailers over here in the King Lincoln area by Ohio State East, if you're familiar with Columbus. And we had a property on Burt Street here that came back. They just gave me a call today, actually, and they're interested in selling their property. So this is what I do after I get that phone call and in preparation for future discussions with them after getting some initial details. So really, the first step is just, is this a decent investment? Should we even chase it down? I have an idea of the property condition. She said it's boarded up. It's been vacant for about 20 years. Who knows what it's in? We're just going to assume it's trash, needs totally gutted. It's a full gut job, right? That's our assumption, worst case. We also know that she gave us an idea that there's an empty lot next door, which is also included in the sale price. She's also given us an idea that she wants $90K for both the house and the vacant lot. So for step one of, is this a decent investment? We run some comps, we see what our ARV is. So we know after we put in all our money, how much is this thing worth, right? So 285s, as you can see, it's high and above anything else I could find. So I'm gonna do 225, kind of on the low end, but still more than this house. Let's assume we do a good rehab, a high quality rehab. And let's assume we're actually gonna shoot for the 285 mark, probably when we list it, but we're not gonna count on that. We're gonna count on 225 being what our ARV is. So based off of the ARV, or after repair value, now we work backwards. So what I did is I went into my BRRRR calculator, and we can do this together. We can edit this report, and we plugged in all the information for our BRRRR. So we got annual property taxes of $5 grand. Those are estimated based off the auditor's site. Plus I inflated them a little bit to account for, increased value and everything like that. They want 90 grand for both this property, the flipped house, and next door. So I've split that up in my mind as 60 grand for the house, 30 grand for the lot. So we've got 60 grand accounted for right here. After repairs 225, we're going to say we're going to spend 1,200 bucks initially. We've got 100 grand in rehab costs, which we're just going to assume. We're going to take a year to refinance, 8 months to do the rehab. So it's kind of a long rehab here. We're going to do a loan amount of 180, which is 225 times 0.8 or 80% LTV and 7% interest rate. So again, kind of conservative. And that's what we plugged in here. So I kind of went on the conservative side, trying to account for things. We're also taking into account after the fact, 5% vacancy, 5% repairs and maintenance, and 5% CapEx. Assuming that we do a good rehab, we shouldn't have that much repair and CapEx, but you should still be budgeting for it nonetheless. So this also assumes that it's long-term rent and that we're not doing a furnished rental of any kind. If you wanted to do furnished, of course, these numbers would improve, but this is bare minimum long-term rental. Basic view of this, we know we're getting $800 a month in cash flow after this. Because of how much this project cost, our cash on cash return isn't that great. But we also didn't leave any money in this deal. Our LTV, or our loan amount that we're taking the loan out for, what we could take the loan out for at an ARV of 225, if we take out an LTV loan, is 180,000. So it's 180,000 minus 161. So we're going to have basically going to get 20 grand of a cash out in equity over and above what we already have in this deal. And we're still going to be getting paid $100 or $800 a month. So my cash on cash ROI, I really don't care about, because I'm getting all my cash back. I have nothing left in this deal. It all comes back out of this deal, and I make $800 a month in it. So these are good enough numbers that they make sense to me to continue down this project. So now next steps are, we're going to go look at the house. We're going to take some video of it, and we're going to get a better idea of what the condition is. And then we're going to float it out to some investors and people who might be interested in taking on the project. But that is overall my process and what I go through when a deal comes across my desk. So I hope you enjoyed.